Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where we'll be covering some of the confirmed signings kind of waiting in the wings to happen, and some rumours that have popped up over the last couple of days that we've not had the chance to report on. I think our last episode was when we signed the boy Facey Milan. There's not been too much happening in between the Euros and stuff up until then, but feels like a good point to cover everything that's kind of happening up until this point. So if you do enjoy the podcast, as always, you could like, subscribe, and share. It's always appreciated. And first, we'll go into a bit of confirmed news that we got obviously a couple of days ago. I think the last time we done the episode, I think it was kind of there was murmurings of Connor Barron maybe being a Rangers player. There was obviously potential suitors in England and Italy and loads of kind of places looking at this guy, and he was out of contract at Aberdeen. I think that was a given. He wasn't going to sign on there again for another season. But yeah, we've been able to get him. I think this is, for me, one of the deals that had to happen this summer. If you're getting rid of Ryan Jack, literally Ryan Jack is there, a younger one coming
Aye.
for the same club, same youth academy. Already played a good number of games last season for Aberdeen, so knows kind of what to expect in the league. And aye, for me, another really bright Scottish young player that we should have been signing. We did, thankfully.
And on a free, which is the most important thing. Thank you again, Aberdeen. No, I know obviously you've been raving about this guy. And I think it's just one of the good young potentials to bring in, and obviously yet again the sell on fee potentially with him. But I just like replacement there, as you say, with Jack. And big suitors after him as well. You know what I mean? You had people in Italy, down in England. So it's good to get these kind of players in, as I say, on a free, which we do love. But I'm excited for it, man.
Nah, you could say that about a lot of your business so far. It's been kind of smart up until now, picking
Mm.
up players for relatively cheap, and aye, there's obviously promising players that can definitely make an impact. I expect Connor Barron to be more of a kind of squad player, but who's to say he doesn't push his way into the side and become a really good player for us, because he's still obviously very young as well. So really kind of interested to see how he develops in a Rangers side under Philippe Clement, with better players obviously around him than at Aberdeen, playing on a different stage in the European level as well, and obviously the demands that come with Rangers. I think listening to his Rangers TV interview, he seems like a really kind of it looks sounds like he's got a kind of good mentality about him, that he's kind of ready to make this step up, even being so young. So, I definitely one that we talked about months and months ago. We're hoping to that the club had looked at, and then we eventually got that one done. And then the next one that apparently everybody has confirmed, bar Rangers, is Hamza Igamane from as far in Morocco. The striker appears to have signed with Rangers, but as of yet, we're still waiting on official confirmation for the club. You thought that would have been yesterday, but it ended up being Robbie Fraser's contract announcement, which is obviously another bit of bright news for the club. But aye, this one is apparently all done. I think the details are in this tweet here. Just over about £1.5 million could raise with add-ons and stuff. Long-term contract, coming obviously for the Moroccan league, a different recruitment strategy again that we've went down here in this route. But again, another really kind of promising looking player, similar in a lot of ways to Alfredo Morelos when he came into the club. I've seen a lot of kind of comparisons thrown about with that. So I mean, if you're doing the knee slides and pointing to the ground, I mean, it's only going to be
Oh,
a good thing. You come to Ibrox.
aye. It's memories. But I know, listen, know nothing about this guy. Yet again, another player that's leaving warm climate to come to good old Scotland. But no, listen, no, absolutely zero about him. It's smart business again, as you say, going to markets where people don't really, I don't think MD really goes to the Moroccan market to really pick up players. But aye, getting a deal done cheap, and if he can play like Morelos, turn up to be like Morelos, then happy days ahead, hopefully.
Aye, obviously we're waiting on the club confirming this. You would expect it'd be either today, tomorrow.
Well,
Uh,
I would hope so. Because as you say, everyone's confirming this, but Rangers. As you say, happy for Fraser to get the extension there as well. A young lad pushing through. But hopefully the day or tomorrow, Rangers confirm this one.
Aye, it'd be nice to obviously get another striker in the club. That's his stats for last season there: 7 goals and 6 assists in 23 games. Obviously, he's playing at a level that you don't really get much clipsy. Well, I'm not going to sit here and say this guy's. We've seen every single
Or,
minute of this guy's career so far, but I think with the kind of strategy that we're going down and we spoke about in the last episode we done, I think it's only going to. I think taking these risks are beneficial for the club.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that Hamza Igamane can be one of those guys that we can bring in, have a good couple of seasons, and aye, start the way we mean to go on now as a club, and kind of nurture talent for all across the globe, really now, innit? When you're thinking about some of the players that we're in for, so definitely a positive signing for me. I still think with the rumours that we'll talk to towards the end of the episode, we will need another striker
Mm.
alongside. It looks to be Danilo and Igmani, and then that leaves a spot free open for somebody else who knows there's still obviously a long time to go in this window. But going on to some other rumours that we've seen Ibrox chat on Twitter reporting that we're after Kenny McQueen. I mean, this popped up about a month ago now, quite early before the transfer window even kind of opened. Sources on forums and stuff reporting that Kenny McQueen was apparently a goer, but apparently interested him, looking to get a cut price kind of deal for him. Obviously, he's got a couple of years left in his deal, but there might be some sort of clause in that contract that means if they didn't get promoted last season, then he could make a move. For me at the
Mm.
time when I was looking at this, I was like, right, why have we just turned into 2017 Rangers again, just try to sign
Aye.
Rangers fans? But I think about some of the experience that we're losing. I think about some of the players that we're still possibly going to be losing alongside like say Tavernier and Goldson that could be
Mm.
gone. Jack Butland's future's obviously up in the air depending on what offers will come in for him. Like there's you can't just go into a season for me with not having a couple of kind of older heads
Experience.
in there. So I think if a deal can be done at the right fee, I think Kenny McQueen would jump at the chance to come to Rangers because as we say, all things point to him being a Rangers fan. But I think it would be a smart deal looking at his stats last season as well. He played a lot of games for Norwich. He was always available. He ended up being their player of the year. So there's a lot of positives about Kenny McQueen. Obviously, on the flip side, you maybe look at it and think, right, what are we doing here signing a 32-year-old for Norwich? But
Mm.
as I say, I think it makes sense for us to go for one or two players maybe in this category.
No, I agree with you. I think also at the time I was maybe of that thinking to myself, why are we getting for Kenny McLean? But I think, as you say, the experience playing here, playing in the league before, and just an experienced head, you need those guys around. Obviously, these young talents that we want to bring through. So it makes all the sense. The only thing for me is I'm not paying a hefty fee here. It's got to be a reasonable fee here, obviously.
Well, that's something I
Yeah.
seen Leeds were in for him last summer. And Norwich rejected like 5 million for
Rejected.
him. So
Aye. I mean, that's obviously the player of the season for them, and have you? So obviously they will want a good wee bit of change for him. I don't want to say, well, obviously Scott Arfield was a free, but kind of that similar thing where you need an experienced head like that kind of in the team, as I keep saying there, to help the young boys coming through. And I think it makes perfect sense because you your options we've had in the middle of the park. Bringing somebody like him in would be decent for us.
I think if you look at the options in the middle of the park as well at points in last season, we didn't really
Oh
have anybody fit. I
no,
think with Kenny McQueen's fitness and availability as well, I think that's a massive plus for
massive.
me. Um, but I think you're saying dealing on a fee. If you're willing to do a deal between a couple of million, maybe, I would much rather have Kenny McQueen in my squad than a Kieran Dowler or Tom Lawrence, probably.
I'm
So,
in
I mean, if
agreement
you're
with you.
shifting the two of them and you're bringing in Kenny McQueen, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. It just all kind of depends on the fee that Norwich will want. I wouldn't go anywhere above kind of 2.5 million. I'd maybe be looking to do the deal between 1 and 2 million and try and obviously pry him away from Norwich. As I say, there might be clauses in his contract and stuff that might mean he can move for certain money or stuff like that. But definitely want to keep an eye on throughout the next couple of weeks anyway to see if anything kind of materialises with that front. The next one, obviously, we were talking Hamza Igamane looks to be imminent, but it looks to be Cyriel Dessers might be moving on. Obviously, only a year at the club, not even a year yet. To the day, I think he signed. I think he signed in July, if I'm right. But looks to maybe be making a move. I don't think the source is as credible as you would want for a rumour like this, but I believe there's some kind of Scottish news sites and stuff running with the story as well. So there has to be some kind of leverage behind this possibly happening. But PAOK in Greece, apparently in advanced talks to secure Cyriel Dessers. It
Mm.
seems to be a good package for Cyriel Dessers to move. Whether the fee for us is obviously us recouping the money that we paid for him, we'll have to wait and see. But when I seen this, I did a bit of me was like, oh, it's a bit pish because I was like, aye, Dessers. As soon as we signed him, I'd be like, I just honestly chuck him out the door and play somebody else up front. Pick a fan out the stands and play him.
Fine.
But he really he knuckled down. It couldn't have been easy for him being the only available striker throughout the full year as well. I mean, zero injuries through the full year, considering the team. And the injuries they picked up is quite kind of magnificent for him. But he still scored over 20 goals last season. He was a big player in the kind of second half of the season. And I think for me, it would be sad to see him go because he's a likable character. I think nobody's ever wanted to hate on Cyriel Dessers at all. I think we just kind of expected a lot more for what we got.
Mhm.
But again, he's 29 now. I think we mentioned this in our tier list video that we done kind of just after the season finished. If a kind of decent offer comes in for him at his age, I think you have to go and take it. I think we've for too long let guys like in Cyriel Dessers' age range. Obviously, right now he's off the back of a good season. He'll still have people looking at him. You probably need to cash in at that point, I think.
As much as it pains me to say it, I agree with you there. But as I say, I just think of the consistency he's shown, always been fit, always been available, which for us in an area that's been difficult to have anyone fit and available, is remarkable. As I say, I thought for going into this season, I think he would still be a decent number two. Has grown on, as I say, everyone was slating it. There was nowhere he would go where he wasn't getting slated, and the fact that he just put his head down and he done the work, I think it's a massive credit to himself. But listen, if there's an offer coming in and it's a decent fee, that you've got to take it to allow you to finance other deals. Obviously, you would rather one or two others were going before Dessers for me personally. But I still, as I say, I still think he'd be a decent number two coming off the bench. But if he does go, goes with my best regards, man.
Aye, I think that's probably something quite good to mention there. There's other people that should be out the door before Cyriel Dessers,
So
100%.
Dessers.
That's what kind of surprises me about it. That's why I'm kind of thinking how true are these how true are these talks? We'll kind of
So
never know until
I'm just thinking that image you sent me, Tavernier. Just somebody put away his misery, man.
aye,
Honestly,
aye,
Gerald, come
Tavernier,
take him.
Tavernier's aged about 50 year in the last 2 months
Aye.
since the season's finished. But aye, so something I can't hold against Cyriel Dessers is his character and the person that he is. He's, as you say, knuckled down and really kind of got the best out of himself. Got the fans on side with him, and that's not an easy thing to do at Rangers. There's players that just within the first game you see them, fans turn on them. So for him to
You look
do
at
that,
you look at the other big money signing, Lammers. You know what I mean? Couldn't handle it. Goes back home and he's firing all cylinders. So I just think it's a credit to Cyriel Dessers, as I say, handle the pressure and to continuously perform. So
nah,
credit him.
it'll definitely be one to kind of keep an eye on to see if anything again materialises with this. If he leaves the club, I believe he was in the training videos yesterday and stuff. So there's
Mm.
been nothing of that kind of ilk. He's involved in
He
the
is.
squad at the moment, but
He is one for me going into next season. Listen, look, I know there's people that still be want to fire abuse at him and all that. Honestly, I hope the guy shuts those people up if he's still at the club. You know what I mean? I really, for myself, he's got a wee soft spot for him. But honestly, the people that constantly slate him, I hope next season, if he's still with us, he does just silence them and has a fantastic season. But if the money's coming, let's be taking it as well. We've got to be
aye,
smart
I
as
think
a
that's
business.
something we can't decline. I mean, if you're thinking the offers that we rejected over the years for players and they ended up leaving for free, whether that be a Kemar Roof, a Ryan Jack, a Alfredo Morelos, Scott Arfields, whatever. If there was ever offers for these guys, we rejected them and they ended up running down their contract and leaving for free. So I think that's a position we can't be in again. And I think a season out of Dessers, which was a successful season for him, I think if you're getting, what did we pay for him? 3.5, 4.5 million for him. If we're getting in that ballpark offered, I think you'll have to
You
take
need
it.
to take
But
it on.
something definitely keep an eye on. But it will be it'll be sad to see him obviously leave the club. And then something that I've wanted to happen since last season started really. Danny Armstrong reportedly a target for Rangers. This is coming for Seawood, Loyal, and Follow, a guy that again really kind of reliable in terms of on that forum. He broke a lot of the news before it gets to the mainstream media and stuff. So definitely a good source to go off of. But for me, I've always sat on this podcast and said I would take Danny Armstrong in a heartbeat. I think he improves our squad. I think he improves the team. I think he was the best winger in the league last season. He's a Scottish player that will help us with that European quota as well. I don't think there's anything to look kind of negatively on this deal. He's 26. He's still got a lot of areas to improve on. Again, he's got that delay experience in the league, which could be really helpful. I don't think he's going to be an out and out starter every single week, but for me, he's a much better squad player than the likes say
So right.
um, Scott Wright. Even if you look guys that have come on and played in the attacking positions like a Kieran Dowell, a Tom Lawrence, guys like this who haven't really contributed too much. I feel that Danny Armstrong would contribute in massive amounts, and I think for himself as well. I think he will leave Kilmarnock this year. I think it's an absolute shambles that he wasn't in the Scotland squad for a start. I think he might think, what else can I do at this level to get involved in contention? I think going to Rangers would be a massive step up in kind of the estimations of the Scottish manager, whoever it may be, by the time he's making a move to hopefully select him. But for me, this is always going to be a deal I would love to do. I'm happy that Rangers are hopefully targeting him, hopefully looking at him, talking to him, his agents and stuff, working out a deal. I think again, you're looking at a fee. What would you kind of take? What would Kilmarnock command for him? You're probably looking in the ballpark about 500 to 750K. I mean, again, really kind of relatively small for us. And I think he would bring a bag of kind of just a good player. He would bring a lot to that
Spot on.
squad. I think as a squad player.
I think the positive thing that we're talking about here is the fact that we're actually looking at players in our own league, which for me is massive. Players who have been consistent, like some of the best players in the league over the last couple of seasons. So that's a positive. I think this deal is the same as you, makes all the sense in the world. Um, and I just, as I say, I just think I think he's a step up for Scott Wright, and I think he'll definitely come into the team and contribute. And that is an area of the park as well, where, as you say, we haven't really signed them to kind of be the first kind of starter. So, listen, I wouldn't be shocked if these guys came in and Clement really like, backs them. But as I say, I think it's a positive deal, positive sign if we can get it done. As you say, also helps him with trying to break into the Scotland team. Which I mean, why would you really want it at the moment in time? But if that's his kind of aim, whatever you then fair play. But I just think it's a positive sign. As I say, great again that we're actually scouting players in our own league. Something that we seem to forget at times. But there's some quality players here, just as there is in Moroccan leagues and academy players. It's good to bring these kind of lads in.
Aye, and I think Danny Armstrong would probably surprise a lot of people. He's obviously a winger for Kilmarnock, but every
Listen,
time I
he's
saw him
got
play against us, every time I saw Kilmarnock
that.
play, he's like a terrier on the right hand side. He never gives MD any kind of peace, and he's always got an assist or a goal on him.
Listen,
Obviously,
if
he's
you're going to
he's
be doing the Luis Suarez and taking up your wrist or whatever you like that, you've got to be simpler. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to deliver on that. You've got to have a wee bit of flair, a bit of technicality about you. So, again, it excites me. As I say, if we're sitting here by the window closing, I'm sorry, and Scott Wright is still at our club, I'm baffled.
that could be a bit of leverage for the
Honestly,
deal, right enough, couldn't it?
that's something I was about like that's something I would do. I would like listen, take him. We'll give you a couple, whatever you want, and just, aye, please get rid
Because
of
I
him.
mean, they get a right wing in return. We'll get somebody that will improve the squad. I think, aye, Definitely something I hope Rangers keep pursuing. I think this could be a really kind of strong squad signing for us, similar to Connor Barron, similar to the links of Kenny McQueen. Hopefully it doesn't get too out of hand and we're only signing kind of guys for here and there. I think we'll need to start signing some guys that are going to slot straight in as first team players. But I think doing the kind of this kind of smart business first, doing the signings that you can get in for a relatively low fee and hopefully aren't too hard to kind of negotiate with would be a really good start. And I think Danny Armstrong is definitely one of those guys that I would like to see at Rangers, similar to Kenny McQueen. I think the two of them, kind of alongside the players that we've obviously signed already, Hefty and Ciala. Igamane's obviously came in. There's plenty of players obviously for across the globe, even Cortez as well.
Mm.
I think it was kind of sprinkling a couple of players in there as well that kind of know the league and know the club and stuff would be a good way to go. And I hopefully Niels Cotton just keeps going the way he's going. But again, some of the links that haven't featured in the video that have been about are still really interesting ones. I mean, I think I saw one the other day, Myron Boadu at Monaco. Obviously, Philippe Clement had signed him at Monaco and stuff. Dutch player as well, kind of surplus to requirements. A guy with kind of huge potential is still young that went for a big fee. I think, something like that would again really kind of excite me, and I think we're definitely going down the right direction anyway.
No, definitely. It's obviously great to be linked with all these kind of players, might have you, but for me as well, I'd like to see some rumours of players be going. I've obviously seen a rumour. Yeah, rumours are about all the time, and obviously we know that, but listening to offers for Cantwell, I think is a smart thing. But as I say, the first thing, the players that you've got to be shifting out, we already know who they are. But I want to see some more rumours now about players leaving the club because we can't just be looking to add and no free up the wage bill a bit. As I say, some of the players that we're signing, exciting. Some of the links are exciting. Just hope Rangers can do it, and I hope we're no linked with that many players for the championship. I don't mind good old Kenny boy there, but I'll be scouting in the Moroccan league than the English championship.
No, that's the thing. Aye, there's plenty obviously to keep covering, keep looking at. I don't think I'm ever off the forums looking at transfer news and stuff, but there has to be people leaving the club. I think there's obviously players that have been told they'll leave, and if offers
Mm.
come in, they'll move on. I think with it,
Surprised there's nothing really hanging about Sam Lammers yet. I thought he would have been one of the first ones where it would have been confirmed he's staying where he is.
I think
Uh,
that might be down to kind of negotiations, might be a bidding war in with that as well. There's Feyenoord were in for him and stuff, so there's a lot of teams in Holland that
and take him.
they're looking for him. So I think if you can drive the value him up, I think again there's a lot of things within the in the Utrecht side anyway. Taylor Booth, left back, American, 23 years old. Use that as some leverage in the Lammers deal if they don't have enough money to get him. I
Mm.
think bringing in somebody like that would be quite a good way to go again. I think there's going to be a lot of the deals. You've seen it already with Aston Villa and Chelsea. They maybe put a fee towards a player and they end up swapping a player for a player. I think there might be quite a lot of that happening this
Going
summer.
a bit, going a bit NBA on us, swap deals.
Aye, swap deals. I mean, sometimes they make sense. Sometimes it's just a bit daft. But there's obviously plenty to talk about. As we keep obviously marching towards the season starting. The fixtures are out on Thursday. The team came back to training yesterday, so
Mm.
it's all happening. You would expect there'll be more movement and outgoings in the next week or two. So, we'll be here to bring you all the news when we get it and give your opinions on it. So, if you did enjoy the podcast, if you like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you next time.